Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are up bright and early here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're at the 2012 USBC Open Championships. We're here this morning to watch 8-time champion, USBC Hall of Famer Bill Lillard Sr. take to the lanes. Right now we're behind lanes 31 and 32 as Mr. Lillard settles in for doubles here. Lillard is the active pinfall leader here at the Open Championships, and he is celebrating 65 consecutive years with us this year in Baton Rouge. A very emotional return to the red stick for Mr. Lillard. Of course, the last time we were here, 2005, he was part of the opening ceremonies along with Dick Weber, who we lost the very next day. So an emotional Bill Lillard marched down center aisle yesterday to celebrate his 65th tournament appearance, only the 5th bowler to reach that milestone, and today he inches closer to the all-time pinfall lead. Lillard came into this year's event with a pinfall total of 118,526, just 5,244 pins short of the all-time leader Joe Norris, fellow Hall of Famer, who knocked down 123,770 pins in a record tying 71 tournament appearances. So Lillard on the cusp of history, both participation and pinfall, and we're here to watch it live as he inches closer. This is Matt Canizaro, Media Relations Manager here at the Open Championships, and a very dedicated and tired Emil Williams Jr. standing right next to me, as always, as expected. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Emil.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing all right. I had my red line this morning. I'm definitely not a morning person, so I'm fired up and ready to go. And anytime I get the opportunity to watch Bill Lillard bowl, is a great day, no matter what time it is.
I second that notion without any hesitance right there. He's a pioneer. He's a Hall of Famer, obviously, but definitely an ambassador. Everything good about the sport. So it's always good to watch him. Finally had the chance to formally meet him yesterday, and that was beyond a joy, I'll tell you that.
Well, I had the chance to meet and know Bill and his wife Dorothy since 2005. We did a special event back in 2006 to help kick off the 2006 Open Championships, which was in his home state of Texas. We were in Corpus Christi. We had him come out for a special challenge match with a Corpus Christi local, and he is an excellent spokesman for this event, an 8-time titleist, and an amazing ambassador for the sport. So it was very nice to spend that time with him. And of course, in 2007, he came along and celebrated 60 years. And anytime I'm in the Houston area, Bill makes sure to come and meet up and say hello, and Dorothy as well. So always great, and I'm glad you had that opportunity to sit down with Bill and meet his family. Definitely something special to this event. I'll admit, prior to coming here, I did not know who Bill Lillard was. He's a Open Championships legend, and back in the 1950s and 60s, again, as you said, a pioneer in the sport, the Professional Bowlers Association, the 100-game match games he was talking about yesterday. All the big events, he was there, and he was a star. And it wasn't until I came to this tournament that I had the opportunity to understand his true significance in the sport. Anytime you win one title at the Open Championships, you get my utmost respect. And this gentleman has won 8 times, and 4 of those titles came in 1956. So he was the first bowler of 3 in history to claim 4 titles in 1 year. He took home 2 wins in 1955, team all events, and came back the very next year for team all events, doubles, and regular all events. So 6 titles in 2 years for Mr. Lillard. And wow, that's all I can say about that. And believe it or not, he almost added a 9th title, which would have tied him for the all-time lead in 1981. He told us that story yesterday in Memphis, Tennessee. And not only was that the debut of our predecessor, Jerry Snyder, 1981, but Bill Lillard bowled with his son, Bill Lillard Jr., and came within 1 frame of winning the doubles title. An amazing story, and that would have been quite a deal to take home title number 9 with your son. I bet that would have been the highlight of his career, no doubt. But you had the opportunity to talk to Bill yesterday, again for the first time. Talk about that experience a little bit, and what did you guys talk about?
Well, he's first he's just a genuine individual, and it's not because of what he's won, what he's accomplished in his career. He's just a great person. That's the first thing. You know, when you meet people for the first time, but you know, people are celebrities or they've very accomplished, won several things in their lifetime. Doesn't have to be bold. We talk about life in general. But you know, the better person you are, of course, it makes it easier to talk with. And he's just a genuine guy, so he's very open to conversation. In fact, he said yesterday he used to not be. He's a very shy person back in the day. He used to not want to do interviews and things like that. They wouldn't go too well just because it wasn't in his nature. And so he was, as he said, he was thrown into the fire, thrown to the wolves, and that's part of the territory, of course. And I think he probably understood that at that point. As the more he grew, the bigger he got, the more attention that he drew, and of course, us media types always want to talk with those who have a lot going on. But we spoke about his emotions yesterday, what it felt like, what it means to him to reach the 65-year milestone. Again, just the 5th bowler to do so. Coming back to Baton Rouge, he also had an opportunity. He chatted with our columnist here in the Baton Rouge area for the Advocate, Ken Lowe. He talked with him as well. They talked about some of the same things, but mentioned his Budweiser teams, his appearances with them. Mentioned Don Carter, who seems like Bill always had a trouble beating Don back then, and he talked about that, but very gracious. Talked about Don, talked about Dick Weber, of course, and how emotional it was to return here after, I guess, really the last time seeing Dick was opening ceremonies, and then, of course, the next day, we got the bad news, the bad call. So it's very emotional, but you expect that, of course. This is not a regular, wasn't a regular day yesterday. You know, although he mentioned bowling, but it wasn't a regular day. It was about a celebration of an achievement, of a milestone, and of a genuine good person, and that is Bill Lillard Sr. Talked about that near win with his son in Memphis, and I mean, you'd have to think that would have been the career highlight. You know, he's won a lot. Talked about some titles. He mentioned 55, 56, those being very good memories for him, very, very high on the totem pole. Where you have an opportunity to win multiple titles, let alone one, but multiple, 4 in 1 year, 6 total in 2 years. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that. I don't care what era it is and all that nonsense. 6 titles in 2 years is, you're doing something right.
Well, it seems like Mr. Lillard just keeps collecting the milestones, and so what he's accomplished again, 50 years, 55 years, 60 years, 65 years, 8 titles, 4 in 1 year. And for the first, I believe, 61 years of his career, he averaged 200 here at the Open Championships. That is a lot of games on some very challenging lane conditions. And of course, if you ask him now, he's of course not the bowler that he used to be. And the ball's just a little bit heavier. Everything's slowed down a little bit, and almost to the point where he's a little bit embarrassed, and that's unfortunate because he's such a great asset to this event, and perhaps not thrilled with where his career has gone. You can only expect that, of course, as you get a little bit older, but he's still here, dedicated to the event, and making his run at Joe Norris, his good friend and fellow Hall of Famer. So 71 years and 123,770 pins, and not too far down the road. And Mr. Lillard, a healthy 84, still goes to work every day. While Emil was talking to him yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak with his wife, Dorothy. And Bill, a part owner of Palace Lanes in the Houston area and Copperfield Bowl. And she said he goes to Palace Lanes every day. So he's helps him stay sharp, to get out there, be part of the workforce, and be part of the bowling world, of course, where he spent his entire life. He still bowls 2 leagues a week, keeps his game sharp. And like I said, every time I've been to Houston for whatever event, he's always been around. Come out to say hello, check out all the action. A fan favorite, of course, especially in the Houston area, where he's been for much of his life. Outside of a couple of stints in St. Louis to bowl with the Budweisers. And Detroit, I believe, at one point, Chicago area.
Yeah, I caught that yesterday.
So you guys were neighbors.
Yeah, how about that?
So in the old days, of course, of the old beer teams and such, you picked up and moved when they came calling. And he had the opportunity to bowl with some great bowlers on some amazing teams. Big part of history there. Ray Bluth, Don Carter, Dick Weber, Tom Hennessy. He was name dropping for sure yesterday.
It was, and then that's that's part of the mystique, if you will. You get to talk to a gentleman like that, and of course he had so many stories. Probably continue to talk for hours and continue to name drop, and that's part of it. Oh man, you got to bowl with Ray Bluth. Oh man, you got to know or bowl with Don Carter. So it's hard to still stay professional at that point, because these are names. Obviously, both of us, of course, are still fairly young, although we know who these gentlemen are. May not have met them at some point, but just to have a chance to talk with someone who did bowl with them, who can tell you how it was, what changed, how things were. That's the fan coming out. That's the historian bowler coming out. That's just the life experience that you just like to hear, along with having a chance to write about them. So that's just extra.
Well, I admit, more often than maybe I should, but I definitely get a little bit starstruck at this event all the time. I mean, you just never know who's going to walk in the door. And just being able to talk to some of these folks that we grew up watching on TV, reading about, some of the greatest players in PBA history, some of the legends here at the Open Championships. They walk through the door just like the average Joe bowler. They go out there and they get it done, and they may be a little bit past their prime perhaps, but the stories, of course, are amazing, like you said. And Bill Lillard, still very sharp, clearly remembers his debut in 1948 in Detroit. And it's so hard to ask these guys, can you name some highlights over the years? I mean, how many highlights could there be in 65 years at the Open Championships? I know just the other day I tried to write a blog with some of my personal experiences. How did I get my start here? And it's only 14 years for me, and I probably could have gone on for days about all the things I experienced and all the on and off the lanes with my teammates, and what this event means and what it's like to travel to different parts of the country. And of course, a lot of the stories not appropriate for our readers on bowl.com, but I imagine everybody's got something like that. But there's just so many reasons to keep coming to this event, and Bill's got 65 of them at least. And I'm sure he could tell you where he was and what he was doing in each one of those. And we probably could have sat there all day if they didn't have dinner plans, and I'm still looking forward to hearing about their dining experience here in Baton Rouge. They promised to recommend the restaurant that they were headed to if it was indeed as good as they hoped. But they were very gracious in sticking around for a couple of hours. Of course, they talked to us for a nice little video we're put together for bowl.com and for our story that we'll have up later today on the website there. And the local paper, Kent Lowe, who also is a sports information director at LSU for basketball, is a lifelong bowler and a very dedicated bowling writer. So he'll have something in Friday's paper highlighting the career of Bill Lillard. And Bill actually has some ties to the Baton Rouge area. He used to come through here on his way east for different events, stop in Baton Rouge, and bowl practice at some of the local bowling centers. And I got to know some folks here pretty well, and again, some great stories there that Kent uncovered, and he'll share with us on Friday. And we'll see Kent many more times throughout this event. And Channel 33, NBC, was here as well to be a part of the action, to see Bill Lillard and hear some of his stories. So the media very excited about this event, and especially a legend like Bill Lillard coming to town. So we appreciate that coverage, and check that out. We'll try to get that posted on bowl.com if we can, along with all the other news and pictures and blogs and stories and you name it from the Open Championships this year. But one thing we haven't done yet is introduce the rest of our players on this pair of lanes right now. We are behind lanes 31 and 32, watching the 920 doubles and singles squad. And of course, we're all tuned in to see Hall of Famer Bill Lillard Sr. make his run at the all-time pinfall lead. But joining him on today's pair, his doubles partner, his son Bill Lillard Jr., and two very talented Houston area bowlers, Mike and Ryan Holland, father and son. And they made some good efforts here over the years. Of course, we've always had our eye on this pair of lanes when Mr. Lillard comes to town. So these two very talented as well. So a nice opportunity to see some of the finer bowlers in Texas, and an all-time great. So we are nearing the end of game number 1 here, so we'll take a look at the scoreboard and see what's going on out there. The number these folks are chasing is a big one, 1420. The regular doubles lead right now. That is Ryan Whitney from Louisville, Texas, and Chris Hans from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And on the way to that doubles lead, Ryan shot a 766 series and turned around in singles and shot 773 to grab, at the time, the regular singles lead and the regular all events lead with 2170. But Ryan, if you're listening, got some bad news for you, buddy. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately for you, but fortunate for another gentleman, we have a new regular singles leader. Bowled at 11:30 last night. Emil was here. He was on the beat. And talked to that gentleman right around 2 o'clock in the morning.
A little later than that.
A little later than that, yeah. All right. And I believe there's an interesting story there with that gentleman. I caught some tidbits here this morning as far as his transition from doubles to singles. Can you talk a little bit about what kept you here till 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah, Andrew Kuchin from Wild Rose, Wisconsin, took the singles lead last night. 785 series, 219, 276, and 290. So some good bowling, of course. But very interesting story for Andrew. Actually shot 483 in doubles for 3 games.
You say 483?
483 in doubles. Had some was having some footing issues. Actually started off throwing it well, and all of a sudden his heel fell off.
His heel fell off.
His heel fell off.
Okay.
And obviously he spent some time trying to get that back on, or to get it to stay on. So my guess was, and I forgot to ask him this actually, but he didn't have any glue. Sure, if you had some glue in the bag, you better glue that heel back on. I think I've done that once or twice in my day. But
did you follow it up with 785?
I didn't do that. But it even caused him to fall a couple times. He actually fouled twice and fell on the lane as well. So, you know, if you're doing all of that, you're fouling, you're falling on the lane, obviously you're not too comfortable at that point. You're not sure what's going to happen when you get to the foul line. So, as you could expect, and it may have happened to others, he just didn't bowl well. And it's hard to when you're not comfortable. But he had a good friend of his, lifelong friend by the name of Mike Cole. Actually was his doubles partner. Told him, don't worry about it, gonna shake it off, move on, and try to get lined up for singles, and boy did he do that.
Wow, so obviously taking advantage of the final year of switching pairs between doubles and singles. And again, as I talked to Ryan Whitney after his fantastic doubles effort, you never know what you're going to get at this point heading into singles. And he wasn't sure, based on who was in front of him, what that pair was going to look like. If he was going to have the same look that he had in doubles, and if he'd be able to stay lined up, and obviously he did. When you talked to our new leader last night, what did he have to say about moving pairs and just the difference? What was the difference?
Well, I think he was just so mentally out of it as far as doubles is concerned. He thought instantly, he thought he had pretty much destroyed his tournament. Shooting 483. Wasn't very happy, of course. Just what he had done. I mean, to that point, was not to his liking, of course. And, he got an opportunity to start fresh. Of course, got to take a chill pill, if you will, and get his footing correct. Only got a heel that he liked. He was able to do some damage with. Able to stay upright at the foul line, which is very important, of course. And he went to work. Also made a ball change and wanted to try a different ball in singles. He tried it first couple of frames, stayed with it, and he said he told me he wasn't carrying the corner pins. Made a slight move, about a board left, and then strike.
So it's interesting, as you tell that story, how much the game has changed since, for example, 1948, when Mr. Lillard made his debut, or 1956, when he won his 4 titles. But he was telling us about his first time yesterday, when him and 6 buddies, or 5 other bowlers, they jammed into a surfer car, as they called the Woody back in the day. 6 guys in a car and 6 bowling balls. That was it. 1 ball per person. And back then, all you got was 1. All you needed was 1. So imagine, of course, in 1956, Bill Lillard out on the lanes with his bowling shoes and his 1 ball. Well, what if he was having some approach problems? What if his heel fell off? They didn't have interchangeable soles and heels in 1956. And what if his doubles pair wasn't so good? There's no ball change going to singles. So wow, just rewind about 60 years there. And just last night happened. Do you come back from that without the technology of today's game? Of course, we're all just bowling with what the game gives us. But think about that just for a minute. If we were all out there with just 1 pair of shoes, can't change the soles or heels, and just 1 bowling ball, it certainly makes the game a little bit simpler, I would think. But of course, at that point, it's time to adjust and make some changes. And whether it's your footing or your spot on the lane or whatever it is, a totally different generation. And Mr. Lillard now, he's caught up with technology as well. He now has 2 balls with him. So the one that you're seeing right now, I believe, should be a Storm Tour Power, about 10 years old. And he said that the modern balls just took too much for him these days. He can't get the ball speed that he used to. So he throws an older ball. And I don't know what the other one is, but you'll see him often throw that one for spares. Yesterday, believe it or not, despite the final score of 492, Bill was hitting the pocket pretty consistently. I only remember seeing a couple of shots that were less than 9. So he was right in the pocket, left a lot of 10 pins. And of course, when you can't generate the ball speed, sometimes those are a little more difficult to pick up. I generate tons of ball speed, just can't make a spare either, but that's why I'm sitting up here behind the cameras and not out there getting it done. But Bill, not thrilled with his performance yesterday. But he was right around the pocket, still around the pocket today. It's just spares a little difficult. There he picks up the 4.7. Shot 159 in game number 1. And started game 2 with a 9 dash. Bill Jr. starts today with 242, so not a bad start for these two.
It's a very proud man, Mr. Lillard is, and he mentioned several times, he thought his bowling had, thought it was embarrassing to him a little bit, and of course he's not doing what he once was capable of doing, was able to do, and did do. So a very, very proud man. He even said he wasn't looking forward to bowling so much as he was looking forward to bowling tournaments and reaching the 65-year milestone. So yeah, he wasn't looking forward to his performance per se on the lanes, but
as you said, he's a very proud gentleman with high expectations. Of course, when you have 8 titles, you can aim for the sky, of course, but more than anything, he doesn't want to bring his team down. Right. He doesn't want to hurt the team effort, and of course they will bowl with him until he's ready to stop, which hopefully will be never. But yeah, it's interesting dynamic though. He's worried about bringing them down, and I don't know what they would do if he wasn't bowling with them. They appreciate the opportunity to be a part of history. Every shot he throws gets him 1 pin closer to the all-time pinfall lead. And he mentioned telling Joe Norris, I don't know, about 40,000 pins ago, that he was going to catch him someday, just joking around, maybe. But Bill, back in 2000, told us he shot 2,000 all events. And, of course, that was the last tournament that Joe Norris bowled. And Bill Lillard and Dick Weber bowled doubles together that year, I believe. And could you imagine that squad?
It's impressive.
Just that day alone at the Open Championships, all of those gentlemen in one building must have been pretty awesome. And, of course, Joe finishing out his career as the participation and pinfall leader, knowing, of course, that someday potentially somebody would take over the top spot on that list, but records were made to be broken, and that's very cliche, but that is true. And over the years, we've seen a lot of great scores and great moments at the Open Championships. Everyone almost better than the last. You just never know what you're going to see, and of course with the lane conditions and the equipment being a lot different than it was 50, 60 years ago, we're going to see, I'm sure, some more people getting close to that 100,000 pin club probably a lot sooner. That's just the nature of the game, but not any less significant.
He mentioned at about 85,000 pins. He joked with Joe and then said, "I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna get there." But he thought it would be total pins, of course, and perhaps not participation. And he joked yesterday and said, "But I don't know what's happening now. It's bowling so poorly, may not live long enough to get there." But just a classy individual. He understands what's happening. He knows what's going on. Understands the magnitude of what he has accomplished and what he's attempting to accomplish, and what goes with that. How many people are watching, the fans. And people ask him all the time how many pins he needs. So everybody knows what's happening. It's the way he looks now. Of course, he may not say it, but I don't see how he couldn't make it unless there's some God forbidding challenges. But and he looks to be pretty in fairly good health and pretty good health, and he's still at it every day.
Well, he did tell us yesterday that part of his motivation over the years was Joe Norris, and bowling the same day as Joe, seeing Joe continue to succeed into his 90s and knock down the pins, that was motivation for Bill. And I wouldn't put it past Mr. Lillard to get to 71 years and 123,770, and pick up his ball and walk away.
And stop. He'd be that, yep.
So just out of respect to the game and to his friend and just to the history of the event, he's a classy guy, and I could see that happening.
Be great. Be likened to almost dropping the mic right there. Just drop the mic. Done. I'm out. He could probably say those same words. And like Bill says, I'm dropping the mic, man. I'm done. I'm out. And everybody would applaud.
Yeah, definitely. Bill got a standing ovation in the squad room yesterday, and they announced him for 65 years, and he was at the podium telling jokes, getting ready to make his ceremonial march down center aisle, and again entertain the crowd on the lanes, and a very special moment for him and his family. And to commemorate that, Bill received his 65-year plaque and chevron and a very special custom 65-year ring that he proudly wore for the rest of the day and hopefully for a very long time. We did start a few years back. We enhanced the participation program here at the Open Championships. Of course, the plaques have been part of this event for many, many years, since the 1950s, that you would receive for, at this point, the first one comes at 25 years, and then one every 5 years after that. And in the years in between, you'll get a chevron to add to your collection. And then at 50 years, there's a diamond lapel pin and some very special treatment here at the Open Championships. And after a couple of years here, I kind of decided that being here for 50 plus years is amazingly significant. And the dedication alone is very respectable. So we decided to enhance that program. And we added a few more items to the list there, things to strive for here at the tournament. For 55 years, we added a special engraved watch. For 60 years, there's a gold and diamond money clip, and then the 65-year ring. Now, of course, Joe Norris and Bill Dorman did not have the opportunity to get those rings. They left the bowling world before those came along, of course. But every person on the list who had already reached 55 or 60, they received those items. And Bill had already surpassed the 60-year mark, but he proudly still has his money clip. He showed us yesterday, it's in his pocket. It was full of money, so maybe he had a good day in the brackets. I don't know, but he's very proud of that. And more so, I would think about the significance of his joining the 60-year club. And then he can look at that every day and just remember what an impact he's had on the sport. And now he has one of 3 65-year rings in existence. The other 2 gentlemen, Sil Thiel from Minnesota and Les Berry from Ohio. Sil is scheduled to be here this year for tournament number 67. And as of right now, Les Berry not on the schedule for what would be his 67. So still could be pulling ahead here in 2012 and give Mr. Lillard a number to chase as well. So very cool to see these gentlemen with a lifetime of dedication to this event, no matter what. And I have no doubt that Sil's going to run down center aisle as he has in recent years, as he sprints towards that 71 number. He also is a member. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For number 60, I remember he absolutely just sprinted to the podium in the squad room and then took his time to enjoy his moment down center aisle. But he was ready. And every year, a very spry young man. So looking forward to seeing him this year, number 67, and his climb up the pinfall list. Also a member of the 100,000 Pin Club. But if you'd like to see some more of those names, please visit bowl.com. Check out the Open Championships page. And under tournament records, you'll see the career pinfall leaders. And hopefully soon we'll have our 50-plus list updated and posted on the site as well. So looking forward to that. A huge part of history here at the Open Championships. And right now, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Bill Lillard and Bill Lillard Jr. trying to get it done here in Baton Rouge. Now, Emil, not to put you on the spot, but you are now a tournament veteran here. How close are you to the 100,000 pinfall club?
Well, let me pull out my calculator. Oh man, that's great. That is funny. I'm actually. That's a great question.
Well, you're.
I can't remember my exact total.
You're
from
2 years in now, right?
Yeah.
2 years. So you got 69 more years to go. So you're on pace for 71.
I'm on pace.
You're on pace, and
I'm probably on pace for 1,000 pins. Oh, excuse me, 100,000 pins. I'm probably on pace for 1,000 pins though too. But yeah, you know, I know some, many of these gentlemen started very early, of course, and even the quote-unquote modern day. Some of your 50-year, 55 years started early as well. Those who are, reaching 45, 48, started before they were 21. People started as early as 16.
yeah, I do have a story upstairs on file of an 11-year-old. But the youngest 50-year bowler that I recall in my time, 63 years old, Robert Teeters, a few years back. So he's approaching 60 now, and 63 years old.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good too. Another gentleman that's set to reach 60 years on July 2nd. Hall of Famer Les Seitz. A couple years ago, Les entered the 100,000 pin club. It's my first year of existence here at this event. Talked to Les and look forward to seeing him reach another milestone as well.
Well, and you guys are neighbors, so
we are.
You had the opportunity to bowl alongside him.
Actually bowled league with Les. In the same league, not on the same team, but at his establishment, Beverly Lanes in Arlington Heights, Illinois, along with his son Lyle. So they will be in the house early July. Les is another proud individual.
Well, here's a quick trivia for the chat room. Can you name kind of Les Sykes' claim to fame at the Open Championships? Obviously, besides being a soon-to-be member of the 60-year club and a member of the 100,000 pin club, Les has accomplished something at the Open Championships that no other bowler has. So we'll give the folks in the chat room, Andy Zumwalt,
Andy.
Charles Charles in charge of the chat room right now. We'll give the folks a few minutes to track down the answer to that question. If I had some prizes to give away, I would do so, but just the knowledge is the prize. What has Les Sykes done that no other bowler at the Open Championships has accomplished?
Charles is up early. He must be working.
We appreciate everybody joining us once again. This is Matt Canizaro, Media Relations Manager here at the USBC Open Championships, and my associate, Emil Human Firework Williams Jr., Collegiate National Champion.
Oh, love tap.
And my sidekick here at the tournament for the third year consecutively. Hey, maybe we can get 65 consecutive years in the booth. What do you think about that?
That'd be something.
That's one way to keep your record going. The expenses, of course, for us to come bowl this event are down low, so we'll celebrate 65 years in the booth and 65 years on the lanes for you. And you'll be here to give me my...
Well,
awards along the way?
We should, that should be a poll question. Fan poll question. If the people want it, we got to give it to them.
That's right. I think we could negotiate a 65-year contract with Jason Overstreet.
Everyone else is making history. I mean, why not?
Don Carter got the first $1 million contract in all of sports. Why not? The longest media relations contract in the history.
I'll work for the cheap too. I don't mind. I'm not Peyton Manning. I'm not A-Rod. I'm not Albert Pujols.
See, we're not even going to shop around. Like,
Right.
This is it. This is our one-stop shop. We're not.
I'll even give the hometown discount.
We're not going to the PBA or to any other organizations or, that's it. This is it. This is what we want. Overstreet, if you're listening, 65-year contracts will be the guys. The meal comes very reasonably priced. Sometimes he will work for food even.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes me sound, but
Hungry?
hungry? Why wait?
Yesterday, Emil's hard work was rewarded with a bag of bagels from the boss man, Dwayne Hagen. See? Brian, the USBC photography gentleman, just stopped by and offered some snacks and beverages. Knows we're working hard here in the booth, and we'll be here for the next 2 hours or so watching the Hall of Famer Bill Lillard.
Brian. Why don't you call that man by his real name? Why don't you tell that story?
Well, I'll give the short version. But Brian, as we call him here at the Open Championships, or as I call him, worked with us in 2007 as a local in Reno, and I did not know his name. I'll admit it. We worked different shifts. Our paths crossed once in a while, and at the time we just called him Raspy Voice Guy, and that way we knew who we were talking about. It was that guy on the lanes, Raspy Voice Guy. So a funny nickname. And then the next year he came to Albuquerque with us and was in the photo department, and his name badge simply said Fender. And for some reason, somebody told me his name was Brian. So every day I'd see him then. And, hey Brian, how's it going? Hey Matt, what's up? How's things? Good, okay. See you tomorrow. All right, Brian, have a good one. And then in 2009, he worked for us at the tournament doing some things. And was at orientation, and turns out his name is Jimmy. He said, well, that's interesting. Then why did you let me call you Brian for an entire year? Well, I don't know. It didn't matter. It's cool. So at the time, we had another employee named Jimmy. So if somebody said, what's Jimmy up to? Where's Jimmy? What time's Jimmy come in? I always answered about the wrong Jimmy. So rather than keep the confusion about Jimmy, I just kept calling him Brian. So now, every time I see him, he's Brian, and he sees me, I'm Brian. His wife sees me, she works here as well. She calls me Brian, we call her Brian. So everybody's Brian, and even now, even though the other Jimmy is no longer with us, if somebody says, what time does Jimmy come in? Oh, Jimmy doesn't work here anymore. And they go, oh, I mean Brian. Oh, Brian. Gotcha, all right, so there's that story. So.
Oh, man.
I know.
Never a dull moment.
Every day's an adventure at the Open Championships. You never know.
It is.
Just like last night, you had no idea what you were in store for. Oh, it was gonna be a quiet evening, and all of a sudden.
Working the late shift, the night shift, it's cool in a way. In several ways, actually. But you get to see certain things, a lot of different things, and that's one of them. Things could be going well. Doubles is done, kind of nothing happening. Looked to be a slow evening, and then all of a sudden, you look up, take a look at the monitor, see if couple things happening potentially. You know, you need the max score to produce a lead change, and what happens? There it is. You know, and I watched his first frame on the monitor. He went 9 spare. So okay. You know, he had 495 after 2. So okay, well, you know, 290 will get him 785. Lead. I go do something else. Take care of some things. Just kind of wrapping it up for the night, just by putting some things in the drawers and locking things up. And next thing I know, he's got 9 in a row, 8 in a row. Like, oh, well, let's do it. Let's get it done.
Hey, you got that song in my head. Meals on the night beat.
That was my first late night, if you will, of the year. It actually came at about the time I thought it would. I actually thought it would happen a day earlier on Sunday, but it happened on Monday. Sundays, at least in my tenure here, proven to be very high scoring. Had some solid things take place on a Sunday. The weekend in general, of course, are the prime days. Everybody likes to bowl on the weekend, of course, and it's feasible most of the time. Get the time off work, don't have to miss too many days. Take a Friday off. Maybe you work and leave after, that kind of thing. Come in Saturday, maybe you bowl Sunday, Monday, or maybe you bowl, or you leave Friday, leave Thursday, come in Friday, you bowl Saturday, Sunday. Always happy to be here. So, just because of that, for that instance alone, just don't know what could happen. And when it does happen, somebody's there to cover.
That is true. And Mr. Lillard also just happy to be here. The end of game 2 here. Let's take a look. Things going better already. He's warming up now. 159 in game 1, 178 in game 2. And, Bill Jr. started the day with 242. And, he's going to shoot 200 here, it looks like. So another solid effort for these gentlemen. And the Holland boys struggling a little bit, but right on pace there. So if you're interested in what the loaded cash numbers are here at the 2012 Open Championships, once again, visit bowl.com and check out the Open Championships page. There is a scores box that will give you all of the latest leaderboard information, individual results, loaded cash numbers as of the 1st and 15th of each month, year-long brackets, all kinds of other goodies, so check that out. So if you have any questions, please call Emil anytime. Just kidding. We're here for you guys, so I'm here all day and sometimes into the night, and Emil comes in on the evening shift. Again, that's a very enjoyable time of day here as well. Things are quiet, get some work done, and then you just never know what's going to happen at 2 in the morning. So you always got to be on your toes, and that's the way we like it. Every day is the same schedule-wise. Every day is different because it's opening day for 2 team events worth of bowlers coming into town. So every day special and every day a surprise.
By the way, gave Bill Jr. the broadcaster's jinx there. Went ahead and chopped that 36. So he didn't get to 200. Settled for 191. So way to go, man.
Oh, the jinx. The media jinx. I apologize to Mr. Lillard. But I have a feeling he'll make up for it right here.
It'd be interesting if a lot of times, of course, when you don the same name as such a prestigious individual like Bill Lillard, wondered that did Bill Jr. feel any kind of pressure, you think, to live up to the name and that kind of thing? I know it. I actually kind of went through something like that. And nothing is, on that level per se, but just the thought of being called Junior when I was little, I just didn't care for it that much. I kind of wanted to be my own.
Your own Emil.
I did.
I feel that pressure a little bit living in your shadow here at the Open Championships.
But as I got older, got over that. And, oh man, Bill has chopped 2 multi-pin spares in a row. But as I got older, I got over that, and especially when you have to sign your name on your own bills and things like that. Everybody knows your real name at that point. So, wow, 3 consecutive chops, 2 from Junior, and now 1 from the elder.
I feel bad. I feel like I jinxed him.
Man,
cool. I know.
Unbelievable.
For a second, the answer to our trivia question: what has Les Zykes accomplished that no other bowler has at the Open Championships? Of course, Les Zykes will celebrate 60 years with us this year in Baton Rouge in July. And he also is a member of the 100,000 Pin Club and a 3-time champion here on the championship lane. So the answer to that question: Les Zykes is the only bowler in tournament history to win a title in 3 consecutive years. The 1960s were very good to that gentleman. And Mike Erickson is the one who got that answer. So very cool. And as a bonus for Mr. Erickson,
I was going to say.
he asked, when does some of the 60-year participants bowl this year? Well is right. We're going to have to owe you that one. Les is reaching 60. That's why we know he's coming on July 2nd. We also know that there's a handful of others scattered throughout the event. But, the ones that we generally officially focus on are the ones who are hitting those milestones this year: 50, 55, 60, 65, and the ones who will be hitting them next year. For example, 49 and 59, so that we can write about them for the tournament program and such. And while we do know upstairs on our list of notables when the other folks are coming, we are definitely unprepared for that question, embarrassingly so. But if we can find anything out in the next hour, we'd be glad to get that to you. So thanks for the answer, thanks for the question.
Although we do know that Sil Thiel is scheduled to bowl. And if I'm not mistaken, it's coming up fairly soon, at the end of this month or early April.
I want to thank Terry Bigham for tuning in at USBC headquarters. He plays a huge role in the tournament yearbook each year, and helping out with the participation list that is in that book and on our gigantic participation wall here at the Open Championships. Terry, a very talented editor. I believe he has 65 consecutive years in the editing business, and he helps put those items together every year. So big shout out to Terry tuning in at headquarters right now to watch Mr. Lillard, who he is familiar with as well, from working on those publications over the years.
I got to give Terry a lot of credit. He's underrated.
And now he has threatened my life.
He is underrated.
The behind-the-scenes guy, Terry Bigham, and our associate, creative expert, I don't know what other word to use, Brock Kowalski. He designed the participation wall that you will see next to the check-in area here at the Open Championships. And our newbie, Eric Peterson, was the head designer on the yearbook this year that is available in the USBC Sports Store for $5. I would say don't miss it. A lot of great information and some stories in there. And of course, information about Mr. Lillard, Les Sykes, our 50-year participants, some tournament records, a couple of great features on last year's regular team champions. And of course, our two-time winner, Matt Weggett, who had an amazing year. So check that out. That is also available on our website, bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page, the publications box, and you can see the PDF version. You see all that hard work that those gentlemen put in. And Brock Kowalski not only designed that wall, but he designed all of the graphics and the look and feel of this year's venue. So very cool, very one of a kind, of course. And the man who helped put it all together, Greg Moore, also tuning in today. So a lot of folks joining us in the chat room and on the live stream. Hopefully, many more tuning in to see Bill Lillard. And while people generally tune in to see where these bowlers are playing on the lanes, what's working, what kind of equipment, when we broadcast some of our top stars, I hope that just out of respect to the game and Mr. Lillard, people are tuning in today just to see a legend get it done here at the Open Championships. Probably not going to take the lead today, but an awesome moment being here to celebrate 65 years with him. And of course, all the gentlemen mentioned in the last few minutes, a huge part of what we do here, and Bill being able to come for 65 consecutive years. Now, Emil joined us in 2010, and prior to that, he said he spent about 5 minutes of his life in our venue. He came to Las Vegas in 2009, and to see one of our biggest and venues, definitely a huge building we were in there, and an interesting look and feel there. And so Emil, not long after, we heard from you via email. I believe your inquiry was more about how do I get involved in the live streaming efforts. Lucas Wiseman at the time, or still, is out there in the bowling world covering different international events, collegiate events. And your inquiry was how can you become a part of that? And so it must have been something, about what we do, and then of course something about the venue, and just being a part of the Open Championships behind the scenes that enticed you to send that inquiry and join us here. What was it about the event that made you want to be part of behind the scenes?
Well, as you mentioned, I had a short cup of coffee at the Cashman Center in 2009. It was in Las Vegas. I was there as a coach with the Lindenwood University bowling team program there, the sectionals, and our head coach. I had the head coach at the time, assistant coach now, the 1981 Masters champion, Randy Lightfoot, was bowling. So we went over just to watch and, had heard of the tournament prior to. Most of the time referred to as Nationals, of course. And, of course, had never been, so stopped in, checked it out. All the vendors and whatnot, and I heard some stories about it. Still didn't know what the deal was. And then it's added some grandstand seating, very similar to this right here. And watched them a little bit and looked up at the banners and saw the scoreboards and was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
It's the real deal.
It's just this is the deal. It's the real deal right here. And at that point, I didn't really think too much of it after that, except probably that why am I not bowling? Where have I been that I didn't bowl this tournament?
Well, and interesting, that was part of what I wrote about this week in my blog on bowl.com. Is it's kind of how people get started here, because we do some research every couple of years that tells us why. And despite all of our efforts in marketing and putting things out in our magazines, people they just don't see it. And a lot of times, it's a lot of work to put together a team to come to the Open Championships, to be a team captain, to put up the money to put a team together, to entice other people to go. And a lot of folks get there first time because somebody needs a bowler, somebody locally is already going, and somebody dropped out, they need a sub. And that's how I got my start. They said, hey, we're a guy short, how'd you like to come and experience nationals? And I think once you go and you walk down center aisle, you're hooked at that point. And then the word of mouth is our #1 sales tool, I think. And now you went out and you recruited some of your friends who may not have known about this event and how significant it is in the bowling world. And now they're a part of it. And then they'll go ahead and they'll recruit some other folks. And that's just how it goes. It's that's the circle of life here at the Open Championships. Word of mouth and a lot of answers. Why don't you come? Well, I didn't know about it. Or nobody invited me, I didn't have a team. Well, that's I think once you get your foot in the door, that's what it's all about. And of course, it'd be great if more people took the initiative and put together teams. But even if you just bring one newbie along each year, a first timer, that's special. And hopefully that person will feel what Bill Lillard felt in 1948 and be with us 65 years from now.
I did not know about it. And talking with Bill and several others who've reached milestones since I've been here, I mean, it almost makes me want to, I wish I had started earlier.
Well, of course.
Because, as of right now, I think I'll be like, yikes, it'd be like 80 some odd. Just trying to get to 65, I'll be like 85, 86, something like that. And of course, think about that happening. Well, sure you do. Especially now. And I'm sure just like them, when they first started, they probably thought that was too far off as well and wasn't even something that seemed feasible. Well, could happen at that time.
You talk about getting started earlier. Of course, right now, the youngest that you're able to come and bowl the Open Championships is 16 years old with parental permission. But imagine the things that these gentlemen had to endure over the years. Of course, for a lot of them, World War I, World War II. A couple of bowlers on our list missed a few years because of the Korean War, Vietnam, just so many things happening and other obligations that may have prevented them from either coming sooner or being consecutive like Bill Lillard. Family life, of course, we hear that a lot. Well, that year I got married, or that year we had our first child. And, we just couldn't do it, had to prioritize. And then at the same time, we run into a lot of guys who are so dedicated that they'll schedule major surgeries around their time at the Open Championships, either right after or so that they have enough time to recover and be at their best. So I don't know. I mean, I started when I was 20 years old. I don't think I could have come much sooner. I was still a junior bowler at the time. And, had I had the junior bowling opportunities that some of the folks that we saw the other night, actually, Junior Team USA support, some of the opportunities that they had with Junior Team USA and some of the really big national junior events, I might have stayed as a youth bowler a little bit longer even.
You would have.
There's just so many great opportunities to win some scholarship money, to be on Junior Team USA, represent my country, to meet people, you name it. Of course, I did not have those, so I made the move on my 19th birthday and never looked back. So
never looked back. Yeah, it's funny because later, this was March when I first got a chance to see Vegas, and in July, actually, some of my teammates or group mates that I'm with now were going to bowl that tournament in Vegas in July that year, and talked to them. Hey, how'd you bowl? Cool. And then I think that day when they came back and said, well, next year we got so-and-so might not be able to make it, this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, well, all right. And there it is. So it's very intriguing how people get here for the first time, get their start. And like I said, I had a small cup of coffee. We were there for no more than 10 minutes, maybe 15. Took in a few frames, watched some team event, and then we were gone. Had to get some sleep. Try to make it to the intercollegiate team championships and to help lead them, which was an experience in itself. And next thing you know, the next year I'm bowling. Well, then I sent an email.
Emil sent an email. And then, of course, this inquiry came in. Lucas is really a one-man show, so there was not an opportunity for Emil to travel the world with Mr. Wiseman and be on the broadcast, but it just so happened at the time that I was in search of a media relations specialist to join me on the road at the Open Championships, someone to help cover the event, of course, which lasts from 7 a.m. until, as you found out last night, almost 3 a.m. every single day.
I like to call it question mark.
Question mark, you just never know. But this is definitely a two-man operation. I learned that firsthand as well, that you can't do this all by yourself. I had to pretty much do that back in 2010, most days of the week all alone, but a great chance for Emil to come and join our staff and be a part of the event behind the scenes. And then, of course, we added live streaming to what we do here. That was not a part of the Open Championships prior to 2010. So you got your wish after all. But trying to find out information about you, though, at that point, I mean, of course, when it's time to hire somebody new, the first thing you do now in 2012 is you jump on Facebook and see, all right, what's this kid all about? And we had some collegiate bowlers in the building at headquarters. April Ellis, Emily Mayer, sorry, Emily. Gary Brown, the head of collegiate bowling. And so we asked around, is this kid the real deal? What do we need to know about him? Do I want him working with me at the Open Championships? And the answer I got from everybody when I said, what do you know about Emil Williams Jr.? Oh, he's a really nice guy. He's the kid with the braids, right? And that was it. Like, nothing beyond that. He's, nothing about the fact that he was a national champion at 2005, or he's got a master's degree from Lindenwood University, or nothing like that. Oh, he's just a cool cat with the braids. Okay, great. There you go. That's good enough for me, actually. If April Ellis says you're cool, then you're cool. And if Gary Brown gives a thumbs up, Amanda Vermelia, Eric Vermelia, well, that's it. That's all I needed to hear. And here we are, a couple years later, watching Bill Lillard at the Open Championships, and this doubles event about to come to an end. We'll take a look at the scoreboard as we continue to reminisce and celebrate our 3 consecutive years here, watching Bill celebrate 65 years. And there it is, and somehow we're going to figure out how to shift this operation from lanes 31 and 32 to 29 and 30.
Our first experience with this year.
It's our very first one, and our second time broadcasting at 920 in the history of our broadcasting career. But here we are, and so we'll shift our attention here in a minute. The scoreboards will shift automatically. Something that didn't happen in 1948 when Bill made his tournament debut. Automatic scoring not a part of this event until 1979. So, how about that? It's Tampa, Florida.
That's crazy.
Or as we say, Florida, where I come from, in Fort Lauderdale. But Tampa, 1979, hosted the Open Championships, the very first year of automatic scoring, the flip-dot scoreboards. And another fact, when Bill Lillard won his 4 titles in 1956, there was not even automatic pin setters at the time. So there was pin boys and board men working the pins and the scoreboards when Bill won his 4 titles. And then automatic pin setters came along in 1957, automatic scoring in 1979. And our brand new state-of-the-art Daktronics scoreboards came along in 2009. So Emil actually never had the opportunity to experience the old flip dots either. Same great venue, a little bit different look.
I've seen pictures, of course, and I've talked to several people. This is one of their fonder memories, of course, when they think back to various tournaments. They talk about how there was no automatic scoring and no automatic pin setters. So they remember that. They get a lot of talk about Cobo Hall, Detroit. A lot of individuals who remember those days and some great times at Cobo Hall. That is mentioned to me quite often.
So again, imagine the changes that Bill Lillard has experienced at this event. As Ryan Holland, this is a 5-pin. But again, we talked about Bill getting to his first tournament, 6 guys in a car with 6 bowling balls.
6 balls.
We hear some interesting stories.
Not per person. Either.
Not per person. Just 6 balls, period. And, the guys will tell us, well, I took a train and we went through from South Carolina. Somehow we ended up in Canada, all the way to get to Buffalo, New York. So we'll hold that thought for just a minute. And as doubles comes to an end, and we will shift our attention to lanes 29 and 30 in just a minute for singles. So bear with us, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, that was smooth. We have transitioned now to lanes 29 and 30 here at the Baton Rouge River Center. Once again, Matt Cannizzaro and Emil Williams Jr. watching USBC Hall of Famer Bill Lillard celebrating 65 years here at the Open Championships as he climbs closer to the top of the all-time pinfall lead here. Started the year with 118,526 pins. All-time leader, Joe Norris, 123,770. And Bill shot 492 in team yesterday, so he's that much closer. And unfortunately, we lost the scoreboard look too quick here to get a doubles tally, but maybe we can track that down here while we're bowling, so we'll have an accurate number.
492.
Team event.
Oh, that's what he shot doubles.
You shot that doubles too? Mr. Lillard going for the triplicate. 492. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll see a 692 here in singles.
We double check that. Pretty sure I saw 492.
Appreciate everybody joining us here bright and early in Baton Rouge, the 920 doubles and singles squad. Baton Rouge River Center behind lanes 29 and 30. We're here to celebrate the dedication of Bill Lillard, 8-time champion, USBC Hall of Famer. And speaking of dedication, and Bill Williams Jr., today's his day off, folks. Got out of here at 3 a.m.-ish. And back here at 9:20 to live stream some doubles and singles on his day off. So if you're in Baton Rouge at some point, make sure to stop by and say hello to the most dedicated member of our media relations team, Emil Williams Jr.
It's just what happens, what we do. And plus, I'd be fibbing if I said I don't enjoy putting on the headset. And it's Bill Lillard.
And it's Bill Lillard.
That's first and foremost, that is Bill Lillard.
Watching her man, as she has done for many, 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 many Open Championships. All part of the great stories we hear these gentlemen tell us. It's a family vacation, packing the family into a car, seeing the country. Joseph Agofsky, our recent 50-year bowler, said that his wife's been with him for more than 40 of those journeys. And just as many have been in a car.
Yeah.
Driving all across this country. Joseph from Illinois has been as far as Seattle, Long Beach, California, Atlantic City, Syracuse, New York, among the many cities this event has been to. A lot of those gentlemen have excellent stories, very entertaining about what it was like to travel to the Open Championships in the 1940s and 50s, whether by train, 6 guys in a car with 6 bowling balls. I think we're a little bit spoiled now. Just hop on an airplane.
And which I think you could do as the times progressed, of course, but you know, they weren't jets at that point. Still hanging with propellers.
I would imagine those road trips went on and on as well, but that's all part of the journey. I think is part of the experience, and that's where the memories come from. Who knows when a gas stop or an early morning stop to McDonald's could turn into a story you'll never forget. And of course, when you only have 6 bowling balls total, it makes traveling a little bit lighter. Now our bowlers are allowed to bring up to 8. And I think we need to head down there and ask Mr. Lillard why he didn't take advantage of that and bring an arsenal. But for those folks who choose to travel heavy, we have Bowling Ball Express right here on site. You can ship your bowling equipment right to the tournament venue. Just go on bowl.com/BBE. Give you all of the guidelines. You can also find that link on the Open Championships page. They'll tell you how to ship your stuff, how to pack it. All you do is print out your label at home, put it on the appropriate box, and drop it off at your UPS store. Before you know it, you're in Baton Rouge, so's your equipment. BBE, literally 100 yards from the scales here at the River Center. So you grab your stuff, head to the scale room, and there you are on the lanes. When you get done bowling, take it right back to BBE, and it's on your doorstep about a week later. So can't really beat that convenience. Don't have to worry about taking it on the airplane or taking 48 bowling balls for your team in your car. That's probably not good for gas price. So we're here to provide service and convenience. Check that out.
BBE, great service.
Aaron Smith.
Ace.
Checking in. Aaron, our associate on the West Coast.
Man.
He'll be at the Women's Championships, and we all had the opportunity to work together very briefly in 2010 before Aaron chose to leave us for greener pastures.
My man.
He'll be working some long hours out there in Reno this year covering the Women's Championships, which kicks off first week of April at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. And then, of course, we'll all be reunited in 2013. I believe it would not be possible for us to be a more diverse group of media relations specialists. And we'll be all together in Reno next year. For the first time in history, both the Open and Women's Championships will be held in the same host city in the same year. The Open Championships will return to the National Bowling Stadium for the 8th time. And the Women's Championships will be across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, right next to the Atlantis on Virginia Street. The same building that hosted the Open Championships in 1977, 1984, and 1990, before the National Bowling Stadium was built. Now, I mentioned that was our 8th trip to Reno. I'm mistaken. That was our 8th trip to the National Bowling Stadium. So let me correct that. Of course, 3 additional trips to the convention center, but a very cool opportunity to have both events in the same town. And our efforts, media-wise, will be interesting. And we'll have the trifecta of media relations specialists on site. So we'll be there to bring you all the action. A great opportunity for all of our women bowlers to participate in both events. The Open Championships opened up to women in 1994. And, a growing population ever since, up to almost 20% women here at the Open, and they'll have the chance to bowl both events in one trip. Families will be able to travel together. So that is very cool. One trip, do it all, and some other mixed events. A new handicap mixed doubles at the Bowlers Journal Championships this year, testing that out. That is across town at Metro Bowl here in Baton Rouge. I'm sure that division will thrive and continue in 2013. So when the families are in town together for that milestone year, they'll be able to compete in that event too. So looking forward to that opportunity and having Mr. Smith back with us when we're not working. We'll get to party. So Aaron Smith always brings the party. So looking forward to it. So
Aaron Smith should have his own T-shirt. We'll work on that. That's as you mentioned, man. Just like we just talked about with the stories and about vacations and piling up the car with the family. Well, no better opportunity than next year, of course, to pile up the family, go on vacation, bowl 2 events if you're the wife. It's bowl 2 events, one up the husband, and still have a grand old time and enjoy Reno.
Now Reno's getting a little bit of a bad rap, I think. We've been there a couple times recently. We're headed back for 2 more years in a row for the Open Championships and a couple years for the Women's Championships. But I don't know, you get to go behind the scenes a little bit and see some of what Reno has to offer. And I kind of like it there, to be honest with you. Very delicious, just like Baton Rouge, but Reno has great food. That's very important to me. With my time not at the stadium is well spent dining. Of course, you can't beat the mountain view that Reno has to offer. You get a little bit on the outskirts, a couple miles from downtown, beyond the neon lights of the casinos, and a really a very special, almost breathtaking view of the mountains there, and Lake Tahoe not too far away. Virginia City, Carson City, California, San Francisco, Sacramento, only a couple hours away. So a lot of opportunity to see some different things, and of course, things are always changing too. So even if you've been there before, there's always something new. New sight to see, new casino to visit. The Reno Aces baseball team, walking distance to National Bowling Stadium. And for the ladies, being across town, they might not have had the opportunity to see what that side of town has to offer. So that'll be exciting. So we're looking forward to it, looking forward to be back home of sorts. Our old stomping grounds. So check that out. For more information on 2013-14 events, check out bowl.com. For now, let's turn our attention back to 2012. We're in Baton Rouge at the River Center. Watching USBC Hall of Famer Bill Lillard. First game of singles, 153. Bill Lillard Jr., 226.
Bill Lillard. Just sounds like a name that exudes excellence. He's got the kind of personality where, and like Matt said earlier, I didn't know who half the people that I know now. Didn't know anything about them until I started working at this event. But that was still me a couple years back, and I was in the room and Bill Lillard walked in. He'd probably say, man, he's probably got to be somebody important. Just kind of like has that spirit, that glow about him.
He's got an entourage. That is so cool.
He does. He does.
You got the wife, the son, the teammates, the granddaughter. TV stations, newspapers. And he says to me yesterday, what can I do for you? What can you do for me? Well, you're here. And you're awesome, so there you go. You've done it. You've done all you can do. Just be you. Talk to these TV folks. Talk to this Kent Lowe from the newspaper. Tell them all the great stories that you tell us, that you have to share from your time. They're here to appreciate you. And we'll do our best to make this as special as we can. The ceremony of March, the awards, the accolades, the orange eagle on the scoreboard next to your name, signifying success at the Open Championships. Bill Lillard, very successful, 8 titles in his career. Only one bowler has more.
Nelson Burton Jr.
There you have it, 9
9
titles. And he also is from one of your neighborhoods, St. Louis area.
The Lou.
A hotbed of bowling. Not only produced Dick Weber, Pete Weber, Nelson Burton, among many others, Emil Williams Jr. on that list.
It's another great bowling city. St. Louis, very. It's a great sports town in general, but you know, there's a lot of great sports cities. They definitely enjoy their bowling. Know what to do, know how to do it, and get it done.
Here comes Bill Lillard up on the left lane, lane 29, here at the River Center. And I will say that for being 84 years old, Bill Lillard still throws the ball pretty well. And I think with a little more ball speed, he could definitely turn in some solid numbers. And I remember him shooting 1800 not too many years ago. He still got it. That shot looks great. A little bit light on the pocket after going high on that lane before. Clearly made the adjustments, tried to pick up a little more speed. And I would have to think, especially in Mr. Lillard's case, having won 6 titles in 2 years and 4 in 1, 1956, any year you don't win 4 titles would probably be a disappointment. But some great scores along the year. 2 more titles after that, 1962 and 1971 Classic Team. Nice spare there for Bill. But yeah, easy to say. Well, I didn't win any titles this year, so I'm disappointed. But his dedication immeasurable here at the Open Championships, despite what the scoreboard says when it's all over. Bill's just a perfectionist, doesn't want to let his team down. But I'm going to guess that they are very honored to be able to bowl with him every year here at the Open Championships. See the frustration, leaving the 6, 7, 10 there. I'm going to guess that that at this juncture of his career, this is really more about spending time with his family, just being a part of the event that's meant so much to his life, and taking advantage of what Baton Rouge has to offer this year. Again, a very emotional return to the Red Stick for Lillard. Last time we were here in 2005, he was part of our opening ceremonies with fellow Hall of Famer Dick Weber, who passed away the very next day. And Bill mentioned yesterday in our interview that really changed his outlook on things a little bit. It made every year here a little more emotional. But he's here with friends and family, and here to enjoy this great city of Baton Rouge. Very welcoming. Just walk the streets here, any restaurant you go to, and there's There's welcome bowler signs and delicious food to be had at the airports, billboards, everywhere you go. Welcome bowlers. The red carpet is out in Baton Rouge. Very excited to have us. We're glad to be back. 2005, a very successful event this year. Right up there, more than 60,000 bowlers headed to town between February 11th and July 10th. And at our opening press conference, Mayor Kip Holden was there to welcome us back. And I believe he said, and I'll try to quote, to everybody there, he addressed the crowd. Welcome back to the USBC Open Championships. It's been a few years. We're glad to have you. And where do we sign up to have you come back again? So Baton Rouge and the mayor excited to have us, and already working on a return visit. Of course, the earliest we could come back, 2017. And the women's championships always a possibility as well. The great folks down here in the Pelican State. Very welcoming and accommodating. Emil, you've been here about 2 months now. Anything you enjoy in particular about being here?
Well, so far, food's always a plus. Some good food.
You're the fattest skinny guy I've ever met.
I'm working on that. But like you said, they've been very welcome, beyond welcome. Everyone is here. Everyone I've talked to, just in the city, explain why we're here, and they know about it, and looking to do anything they can to help. It's people here at the River Center. Same thing. You know, what do you guys need from us? What can we do for you? How can we help you out? So they have an understanding of what's happening here at the tournament, and what joy people get when they come out to participate.
Bill Lillard got some joy.
Yeah.
He was escorted down center aisle by Joy Hawbaker yesterday. How about that for stat of the day? Joy Hawbaker, our finance manager here at the Open Championships, has got the honor of escorting Mr. Lillard down the center aisle. But didn't mean to interrupt there.
No problem.
But back to your what does Baton Rouge have to offer? And besides open arms and a red carpet, even inside the River Center, when you're not on the lanes, it's almost an experience in itself. The concession stand here really could almost be upgraded to cafe status. The menu, very eclectic and reasonable and delicious. And they actually have a couple of bars open behind the lanes, upstairs as well, the Pelican Lounge, where you can go check out your bracket results and have a beverage. So I believe they'll be introducing some happy hour specials here coming up pretty soon, so check that out.
Also, make some people happy.
A second type of snack bar now open down on the low side of the River Center. Some Cajun and Creole favorites available there, so come and grab you some lunch if you're local. Check out some bowling. Of course, check out our vendor booths, all of the bowling manufacturers represented, as well as the USBC sports store upstairs. Pick up your souvenirs for the 2012 Open Championships. And of course, our latest and greatest newest feature here at the Open Championships. Emil, take it away.
Of course, that's none other than the brand new state-of-the-art showcase lanes. Located on the second floor. Showcase lanes, same lane, same oil, same lane machines are used to put out the lane condition for you to practice on. It's at your disposal. You and up to 9 other people can enjoy a practice session at the showcase lanes. There are peak and non-peak hours. Different prices. For peak hours, Matt, the price is?
For the peak hours, to spend 1 hour on the practice lanes without a coach, $125. Off-peak hours, $90. And again, you split that up amongst 9 or 10 people, and it's a very reasonable and great opportunity to practice on the very same lane conditions that you will face down here at the Open Championship. So your opportunity to get lined up a little bit, test your equipment, make some changes. Folks are saying that those lanes play very similar, which was the idea to what they'll see here on the main stage. 48 lanes downstairs. We'll have the same oil, same surface, same machine, same pattern, same everything upstairs. Give you an opportunity to get loose and get comfortable and get an idea. And of course, if you'd like to take that one step further, USBC Silver Coach Bill Hall available at a price, of course, $200 for an hour with Bill Hall. Same deal, up to 10 people. You can split that, so for 20 bucks a piece, you can spend an hour with Bill Hall, talk strategy, talk equipment, ball surface, what's working on the lanes, what's not, come up with a plan for your team before it's time. Of course, you only get one shot at it here at the Open Championship, so take every advantage you can to have a successful outing. And what a great transition again, the Bill Hall special. Once again, $200 for your team to go out there. But if you're a little bit selfish and you'd like to have that hour all to yourself with Bill Hall and give some video analysis, we have another great product for you.
That is the VIP experience here at the Open Championships. Not only do you get a 1 hour on lane coaching session, you get video analysis, all included in that. It's a complimentary locker service. Use a locker, VIP locker. The entire time you're here, again, complimentary. You do not have to pay for it, and you can open it and close it as many times as you like. So if you were to get here 3 to 4 days in advance before you are scheduled to bowl, you had your coaching lesson scheduled on one day, you want to go out to Metro Bowl, the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships presented by USBC, you can do that. And you can come back to the venue, put your equipment back in your locker.
And if we're going to put a value on that alone, we'll do a gold token here at the Open Championships, $5. A silver token, a smaller locker, $3. So if you go in and out of that locker 10 times for various reasons, maybe you bought a new ball, maybe you want to have your session on the showcase lanes, you're going to the BJ. It's 10 times in and out of that locker. It's $50 value right there. And believe it or not, that is our #2 most liked VIP benefit. Of course, #1, that 1 hour one-on-one video analysis discussion session with USBC Silver Coach Bill Hall. But as part of that package, the VIP deal available, bowl.com/VIP, what else do you get?
Well, you get a fun voucher at the USBC Sports Store. It's good for 20% off, I believe, on one item in the sports store. And also, will receive $25 off at Bowling Ball Express, both to the venue and from the venue. So, shipping your equipment here, you get $25 off. And if you ship it home, or when you ship it home, you'll receive another $25 off as well.
So there's another $50 value. Not to mention the one-of-a-kind VIP Nike Dry Fit polo shirt with your name on it. And let everybody know you're a VIP here at the Open Championships. As well as VIP express check-in if you're a team captain or you'd like to bring your team captain in for that. We'll take you off to the VIP lounge, give you a beverage and a snack. Kick your feet up while you check in your team. No line, no hassle. Same deal in the scale room. You'll be rushed to the front of the line, have your equipment weighed in for your team event, and if you'd like, it'll bring it to the lanes for you. So you can walk down center aisle empty-handed, wave at the crowd, show off your VIP shirt and your status. And all that and much more can be yours for $199.95. We do ask that you register 30 days out. That way you can guarantee your session with Bill Hall. We've had some folks hear about the VIP program in less time than that, so less than 30 days before their scheduled team times. And of course, if we can fit you in, absolutely.
Witnessed a VIP sign up in less than a day. They were scheduled to go.
So in order to take advantage, full advantage of the benefits, the shirt with your name on it, your VIP placard over at Tournament Services, letting everybody know you're VIP, and of course your scheduled session with Bill Hall, those first come, first serve. Please try to take care of that business 30 days out. Bowl.com/VIP, $199.95. Don't miss out. The response to that and the showcase lanes has been phenomenal. If you'd like more information, you can check out bowl.com, or you can call Tournament Direct, 877-737-8550. Now that we've done our sales pitch, that's all we can do. Let's turn our attention back to Bill Lillard. 65 years here at the Open Championships. Has started singles now. 153, 160. Shot 492 in team and doubles. And today he was bowling with Mike and Ryan Holland from the Houston area. And of course his son and doubles partner, Bill Lillard Jr.
One quick mention and add or addition to that, to the VIP package. Also get discounts on photo packages as well. Team photo, doubles, singles, the ID key cards as well. All that for a extreme discounted price also. And you might have an opportunity to meet Brian, who we mentioned earlier.
So for $200, that's quite a value. A lot of stuff involved in that. And that program taking off. So looking forward to expanding that in 2013. So stay tuned, take advantage now. Or if you've already bowled, keep an eye out for next year. And of course, if you are able to maintain a steady performance and long career here at the Open Championships, you will automatically get the VIP service here, just as Bill Lillard Sr. did yesterday, as he celebrated a huge milestone with us, 65 years. You can't even fathom the miles traveled to all those events. His hometown right now, Houston, formerly St. Louis, Chicago. Bowling has taken this gentleman all over the world. 65 years worth of memories, vacations, pinfalls, sacrifices, you name it. And that's 65 years in a row.
In a row. Consecutive.
Of course, our all-time participation leaders, Joe Norris, USBC Hall of Famer from San Diego, and Bill Dorman from Fort Wayne, Indiana. 71 years. Dorman's consecutive. Started in 1908. And bowled for 71 consecutive years. How about that?
Wow.
Lillard starts game 3 with a strike, leaves a 4-pin. Frame number 2. Bill's been around the pocket for 2 straight days, although that does not translate on the scoreboard, unfortunately. A lot of 9 counts, just not generating the ball speed that he's used to during his successful career. So a lot of 9 counts. He shot 492 in team and 492 in doubles. So entering singles, Lillard at 119,510 career pinfall. Joe Norris, of course, 123,770. That's a difference of 4,260. So I'm thinking Bill's going to shoot, I don't know, you want to take the over-under on 492? I'm going to take the over.
I'm going with the over.
I think he's going to finish big here in singles, an inch closer to Joe Norris. We'll have that final number for you as soon as they're done. And if everything's working technology-wise, perhaps Emil will sneak down and have a few words with Mr. Lillard at the completion of today's doubles and singles. So as we watch the end of game 3 here in singles, we're now in frame number 2. Lillard clean, strikes spare. We'll have Emil give us a rundown. Great shot there by Lillard. This is game number 9 in 2 days. This gentleman still bowls 2 leagues a week, goes to work every day at Palace Lanes in the Houston area. Still very active and dedicated to the sport, and throwing it great here in game number 9. So very cool to see that. And we'll take this opportunity to give you a rundown of our tournament leaderboards at the 2012 USBC Open Championships.
Well, starting with the regular team events, still leading with a big-time number. 3401 at Nicholas J's Pro Shop of La Crosse, Wisconsin. In fact, just last night at 8:30 during the 8:30 team event, with a new second place team. That is Indy Storm 1 of Mandan, North Dakota. Shot the second 1200 game.
They made a run at it, huh?
They did.
I remember getting a text message right about 11:30 with the heads up.
Shot 32.27 with a 12:01 in the middle.
So I believe your exact words were, just after watching that, man, 3,400 is a big number.
Yeah, that's
indeed.
You know, they were obviously 22:01 after 2, and you know, they still fall several pins short. Just puts 34:01 well into perspective. In third, Nicholas J's Pro Shop, 32:04. Those two teams came out a couple weeks ago and put up some great numbers. The team we just saw a few days ago, Junior Team USA Support 1, 31.70. The highest team game so far of the tournament, 12.20 on the back end. Bud Light Sheboygan in 5th place, 31.54. Bob's Custom Decks, 31.44. Solid 9 Pro Shop 1, 31.34 in 7th. Town and Country Lanes 1, 31.29. Junior Team USA Support 2, 31.27 in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Super Bowl Appleton with 31.10. There's already some stout team scores for you to shoot at as well. Just got done with the doubles event. Chris Hans and Ryan Whitney still in the lead with 14.20. Hans from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Ryan Whitney from Louisville, Texas. Paul Marmolejo and Alex Marmolejo from California, 13.98 in 3rd. Patrick Smart, Rick Menely from Santa Maria, California, comes in with 13.68. Tied for 4th, Jeff Mersch and Eric Familia, 13.63, along with David Meyer and Steve Guerrero, also with 13.63. Robert Raymond and Jay Nephew currently in 6th place with 13.60. In 7th, Jeremy Christ and Jeff Wadsworth, 13.47. In 8th place, it's Michael Tucker and John Mongilo, 13.45. In 9th, Richard Thompson and William Gray, 13.44. Richard Thomas, William Gray. And right at the top 10, a tie currently, Danny Smith and Darren Belcito, along with Robert Burrs and Robert Burrs Jr., both at 13.43. mentioned earlier, a new singles leader. And that's Andrew Klochin from Wild Rose, Wisconsin. Last night, 785, or early this morning, we like to say, 219, 276, 290. And Ryan Whitney now in second with 773. Camden Rokita at 763. Vale Floria 755, and Robert Baldwin at 751. That's your top 5 in singles, and leading all events still Ryan Whitney, again from Louisville, Texas, 2170. Nick Heilman from Nicholas J's Pro Shop, number 2, in second with 21-21. Just 2 2100s so far here in the tournament in the early going. Camden Rokita third, 2080. Michael Tucker, 2078. And Sean Mason from Brookings, South Dakota, rounds up the top 5 in all events with 2057. So a lot of good scores in 10th, 2004 for regular all events, and for singles, bringing up the rear is a tie for 9th with 739. A lot of score. To look at your tournament leaderboards here at the 2012 USBC Open Championship.
And if you'd like to see some additional scores in the classified division as well, check out bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page, click on the scores tab or the scores picture in the top module, and you can see all of the leaderboards and individual results and so much more. Right now we're watching Bill Lillard, USBC Hall of Famer, 8-time champion here at the Open Championships, and the active pinfall leader trying to add to his total, climb that ladder in hot pursuit of fellow Hall of Famer Joe Norris. And we'll take a look at the scoreboard now. Lillard clean here in game number 3, coming off back-to-back 492s in team and doubles, and trying to finish strong here in his 65th Open Championships. He's just the 5th bowler in history to reach that milestone. He'll join Joe Norris and Bill Dorman, who each have 71 years, and Sil Thiel and Les Berry, who have each competed 66 times. So excellent company there, as Lillard still going strong. Here in game number 9, we're behind lanes 29 and 30 at the Baton Rouge River Center. Matt Canizaro and Emil Williams Jr. and a great shot there by Lillard. So well on his way to a big finish. Very cool. Technology allowing, we'll have a few words with Bill at the completion of his singles here in just a few minutes. There's Bill waving to the crowd. All kinds of fans in the building. TV was here yesterday, the newspaper. This man is a big deal at the Open Championships and in the bowling world. Appreciate everybody joining us on this Tuesday morning. Bright and early, Baton Rouge, 9:20 doubles and singles squad. Still a long day of competition ahead, as Mr. Williams knows. We go to the wee hours. And Emil was very close to being here in the same clothes that he was wearing when I left yesterday evening. So a lot of excitement. You just never know what's going to happen. And Bill Lillard, great shot there. Looking for a double, leaves a 10-pin. A lot of 10-pins yesterday. Just not cooperating.
I've actually been meaning to bring some extra clothing and set it around the office, just in case it's a late night. Stay on there.
How about that? We have had nights like that. So just one prime example, back in 2007, former Team USA member Bill Hoffman shoots 800 on the team event. And it turns out that he and his teammates are scheduled to bowl 7 a.m., which doesn't usually happen, but special circumstances with that entry. And they're, of course, they had to bowl at 7 a.m. So they got done bowling at about midnight. And worked on that story, got that up on bowl.com. And of course had to wait for the end of the 11:30, doubles and single squad. Before I knew it, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I knew I had to be back at 7 to see if Bill was going to make a run at all events or if they were going to do anything for team all events. Very talented group that year. Included some former Team USA members, DeAndre Asbady among them. So stuck around. Reno, of course, always popping around the clock. So I was able to get something to eat and entertain myself for a couple hours. Got back in time to hang with the lane crew. They were in the building about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, getting the lanes ready, cleaning things up, and then, of course, oiling the lanes around 5 o'clock for the 7 a.m. doubles and single squad, and then there we were. Finally got out of there about noon after it was all said and done. And that's what we do. So you just never know what's going to happen, who's going to come in. It's all part of the experience, and there it is. It's a story 5 years later. So how about that? I don't have the exciting stories of winning 8 titles or being an average leader or any of those things. So I make things up as I go along as best I can. But I would rather sit down any day of the week and have a meal with Bill Lillard and talk about the old days if I had to choose between that and talking to me for an hour. But that's just my personal feeling. Bill's going to step up here on the left lane, still clean through 7 frames. Looking for a big finish here in game number 9. I'm sure somewhere Joe Norris watching as well, tuning into our live stream broadcast. This is our first opportunity to show some doubles and singles action this year. We've seen some talented teams come through. We got to watch some former PBA players. Come on, Bill Lillard.
No! How about that?
That's how you do it. That's how you win 8 titles right there.
Finish strong.
Like to see some more live streaming from the Open Championships and elsewhere as our associate Lucas Wiseman travels the globe. And we continue to bring you broadcasts here from Baton Rouge in the 2012 Open Championships. You can check out the live stream schedule on bowl.com. That'll be down towards the bottom on the right-hand side of your screen. Bowl TV Live. All times are Eastern. And there's a comprehensive schedule of everything coming up. The next event, March 23rd, 10 a.m. Eastern. Lucas Wiseman will be at the ITRC at USBC headquarters there in Arlington, Texas, the International Bowling Campus, for the Team USA Fantasy Camp. So looking forward to seeing some folks on there. And he'll be back at it at the end of the month for some NAIA Invitational action. Our next broadcast, April 3rd. We'll be live with recent PBA national champion Scott Newell, as well as 3-time Open Championship titleist John Gaines, Team USA member John Janowitz, a 2-time winner here at the Open Championships in 2004. And they have now added USBC board member, former Team USA member Vernon Peterson. So that team now stacked. Gaines and his group included in the old days Chris Barnes, Tommy Jones. Back in the late 1990s, they won back-to-back Team All Events titles. Came within, I believe, 1 pin or so of winning a 3rd consecutive in '99. So, Gaines still at it here. A few years later, looking to add title number 4 to his resume, so check that out. April 3rd, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here. Emil will be here for the rest of the schedule. Check out bowl.com. If you'd like to see our archived broadcast, go to YouTube/BowlTV. Check out our recent broadcasts. And, of course, become a subscriber to our YouTube page. Come on, Bill Lillard. All right, Bill. So become a subscriber to our YouTube page and get alerted of everything coming up on the live stream schedule. Don't miss out on any of the action. Right now, we're going to take a look at the scoreboard. We're at the very end of game number 3 in singles here. Hall of Famer Bill Lillard looking for a big finish here. 492 in team, 492 in doubles. Having him here with us so far, a highlight of my year in Baton Rouge. And as we wind down here, we'll hopefully have a few words with Mr. Lillard, as well as a final pinfall tally as he is in hot pursuit of Joe Norris. Right now, as we head into the 10th frame, Emil's going to take a walk down to the lanes and see what Bill Lillard has to say when it's all over. So Bill leaves a 3-pin there in the 10th frame. I believe that fist pump was because the 3-pin is very makeable, and he could be collecting a clean game in the finale. There he goes. There's the shot. There you have it. Clean game for Bill Lillard to close things out here at the 2012 Open Championships. And the final shot of the year for Bill Lillard, buries it for a strike. There's a 192 game. That's the way you want to finish. It's a 505 series, so those of you who took the over, Bill finished strong in singles. Big 192 for a 505 series, 1489 all events. So with that, 9 games in the books, Bill Lillard brings his career pinfall total to 120,015 sticks. Current leader, USBC Hall of Famer Joe Norris, 123,770. So Bill still 3,755 pins short. We'll see him again next year for number 66. And right now, Emil is down on the lanes with Bill as we get finished up here. And Bill, of course, saying hello to some fans right now. So we'll turn our attention to him in just 1 second. We get one last look at the scoreboard before Emil takes over down there. There you see, matching 192s for Bill Jr. and Senior. So that's cool. That is very cool. All right, see if we can get Emil's attention. All right, so there's Emil lane side with Bill Lillard. Just 1 second, we'll bring you some final thoughts. And there they are. All right, Emil, take it away. Bill Lillard.
All right, thanks, Matt. Of course, I'm here with the legendary now, Bill Lillard Sr. Bill, just give us a couple of thoughts on the last couple of days. Another year in the books, but a specific year, 65 years. How's that feel for you?
Well, let's see, what was it? Monday, before we bowled, everything was great. I can't get over the feeling I had with walking down that aisle. The USBC, I can't get rid of ABC, but they were, clapping as we walked by. The audience was, it wasn't a great audience, big, but it was great. And when we started bowling, that's when I kept failing, but it's okay.
What about you got a chance to obviously bowl with your son, of course, and some folks you know.
Come every year. He hurt his shoulder, I don't know how many years ago, and he's been to doctors, he's taking therapy and all that, but he can't get it right. So he bowls basically 3 games a year. 9 games here at the ABC. And I think he enjoys it, but I make him come almost. He knows I like him to come and bowl with us, so that's why he does it.
And the dedication that your wife has shown also to you and your tournament.
She really agonized this week, I'm sure. I didn't sleep well last night. I've bowled this way before, and it's the same thing. You toss and turn and say, if I'd have done this, you don't do that. You can't do any better than you're trying to do.
Well, nonetheless, sir, it's always an honor, and you're a welcome member to this club at any point. Congratulations again, and well done. You guys
have been great. I really appreciate that, and USBC is doing the right things, I guess. I just hate to see the scores as big as they are, but I sure don't like to see them the way we bowl this week. But we'll get them next year. I've been telling this group, some of them are on the squad every year, and I keep telling them that's my life's tournament. And I'm going to say that again, but I hope I can come next year. You never know. You've been real great.
You'll be here, sir. You'll be here. All right, thank you, sir. Congratulations. All right, Matt.
All right, folks, that's Emil Williams Jr. talking to Bill Lillard. Celebrating 65 years here at the Open Championships. He's going to pack things up for another year, head back to Houston. If you're ever in the Houston area, visit Palace Lanes or Copperfield Bowl. And make sure to say hello to Bill Lillard. Congratulate him on a great career here at the Open Championships as he climbs the all-time pinfall list. Today he shot 1489 all events, brings his all-time pinfall total to 120,000. 15 pins. He'll need 3,755 pins to catch Joe Norris on the all-time list. And that is going to do it from the Open Championships today. This is Matt Canizaro on behalf of Emil Williams Jr. We're going to call it a day. We'll be back with you on April 3rd. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good day. That's the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.